Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. This is the weekly premium video. Hopefully you enjoy the content. This one is going to be on the best day, not only to buy Bitcoin, but to buy Ethereum. We're going to look at a lot of different cryptocurrencies. Now, the arguments here, I want to explain the nuances of everything as well as we go, but I also just want to be upfront. When you're DCAing into crypto in a bull market, right, it's best to just come up with a regular schedule, okay? And trying to time things exactly every single week can get you into trouble, right? Because maybe you try to time it and then you watch it go up and then you FOMO in and the next day it drops back down. So what I find is just best to just pick a day of the week, DCA weekly. That's my strategy. Doesn't have to be your strategy, but that is what I do, okay? But I wanted to show this because if you go back on the weekly premium videos, if you go back to say like early 2020, so like a year and a half ago, we did this sort of stuff with Bitcoin and Ethereum and maybe a few other coins. And I wanted to revisit it and then also provide it for a lot of other different cryptocurrencies because a lot of people are asking me, well, what's the best day to buy this coin? What's the best day to buy that coin? It's like, well, why don't we just run the same analysis for a lot of these coins and then you'll see what the results are. That doesn't mean that every single week that will be the lowest price for that crypto. It does not mean that. It just means on average that day tends to be a little bit better. Of course, that is subject to change over time, and we'll see if things have changed over time or not. If you go back to early 2020 when we ran this analysis, Monday was the best day to buy Bitcoin. But again, that is UTC time at the daily open. Okay, so when we get a weekly close on Bitcoin, it's 8 p.m. Eastern time. Okay, so that's actually Sunday night. So if you think about, Monday's the best day to buy Bitcoin, well, Eastern time, I know a lot of people in the United States, Eastern time, it's actually 8 p.m. Sunday tends to be the best time to buy. That was what we looked at in the past, and I want to do an update. So if you look at the average percent difference from, say, the price of Bitcoin and the 7-day moving average over the last, say, week or whatever, we can look at the deviation of that price of Bitcoin from that weekday to an average of the other weekdays as well over that week. And you can see once again, Monday for Bitcoin is in fact the best day to buy. And this is based on the open on Monday. Not necessarily halfway through the day, not necessarily at the close, right? This is what the average percent difference from the price and the 7-day moving average. You can see Monday again is the best day to buy because it's closer to that average than the other days. If you miss Monday and you want to get in later that week, Friday tends to be a decent day as well as Sunday. All right. So Friday, Sunday, and Monday are the best. Monday is the best. Sunday is the second best. So Sunday and Monday are probably going to be the best days to DCA into Bitcoin based on this data. Okay. I'm going to show you something else in a minute, but this is just based on mindless DCA, regardless of anything else is going on in the world. Right, regardless of anything with Bitcoin, regardless of the risk levels, just Monday is the best day to buy, and then Sunday is the second best. Friday is the third, Saturday is the fourth, more or less tied. Well, maybe not. No, Saturday is not the fourth. Thursday is the fourth, and then Saturday is more or less tied to Thursday, and then you have Wednesday last. So Wednesday actually is normally the best day to take profits on Bitcoin, believe it or not, because that tends to be the day. I'm not saying you should take profits on Bitcoin every week, but imagine that you see the risk levels at 0.94, 0.95, and it's a Wednesday, and we're hitting the top of the logarithmic regression band or something, and maybe the pi cycle top is flashing, and we're hitting the top of the corridor we follow. If all these things are flashing, and you have all this confluence saying that, hey, look, this looks like a major peak, then you can take that into consideration and take profits. Now, I'm going to throw a caveat into this in a minute. So this is the best day to buy Bitcoin based on the 7-day moving average, all right? Now, what if you say, what is the best day to buy Bitcoin when the risk is below 0.5? So let's suppose we throw out all the data for price data for Bitcoin when it's above 0.5 risk, and let's just say, well, if we're only going to DCA Bitcoin below 0.5 risk, then maybe the rest of the data shouldn't be important, right? I mean, if you're not DCAing Bitcoin now, then why should what's happening now go into when you should buy it? Well, when you buy it below 0.5 risk, it actually turns out Monday is the second best day to buy it, but in fact Saturday is the best day to buy Bitcoin when buying it below 0.5 risk when you're looking at the reference from the 7-day moving average, which I think can make sense as well. a lot of times Bitcoin will have a pump going into the weekend. So if you were to buy it Saturday at open, that would actually be Friday night, right? That would actually be Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern or at UTC, the UTC time open at midnight. Saturday is actually slightly better than Monday when only considering values below 0.5 risk. If you consider all values, Monday is the best, but if you consider just below 0.5, Saturday is slightly better, but Monday is also a pretty good time as well. What you'll notice is that overall, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday tend to be best, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday are not as good. You can sort of see a similar pattern over here, but Saturday is slightly higher. What this means, though, generally speaking, is that Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, they're really not the best time to be buying Bitcoin if you're just going to pick a simple day of the week to DCA it, right? If you're just going to pick one day to DCA it, and you're gonna DCA Bitcoin every single day, dollar cost average Bitcoin every single day, or every week on that day, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, probably not your best days, especially not Wednesday, because that tends to be the furthest extended from the average of the last several days. And then if you do the same analysis but compare to, say, the 30-day moving average, it actually shows that Saturday is even better with respect to the other days, and that Monday is actually slightly worse than Thursday. Okay, so what we can take from this, I think, is that if you're going to come up with a day to buy Bitcoin, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, probably not the best because they just tend to be a little bit higher than you might otherwise want. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, maybe okay. Probably the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, probably the best time to buy Bitcoin if you're just going to do it mindlessly and then just do it every single week. So maybe one week you buy it on Saturday, and then maybe the next week, if it's above 0.5 risk on Saturday, you could wait until Monday and then see if it's above 0.5. If it's not, then you can maybe buy Ethereum or something, depending on what the risk level is there. So I want to do an update. Hopefully this makes sense. Now we want to run the same analysis on Ethereum. Back then, we said the best day to buy Ethereum was Friday, and we want to see if that has changed. Well, based on the average price, or the average percent difference here from the 7-day moving average, you can see Friday is still, in fact, the best day to buy Ethereum. If you look at it when the risk is below 0.5, and with reference to the 7-day, Friday is the second best day after Wednesday. Okay, so Wednesday is actually the best, Friday is second best. But you can still see that Friday is either the best day to buy it or the second best day to buy it, based on both of those types of analysis. Or if you measure it by the 30-day moving average, Friday is again the best day to buy it. So I would argue, three of these charts show that Friday, or two of the three show that Friday is the best. One shows Wednesday is. I'm going to stick to Friday. The same thing I've been doing for years and years and years, just DCAing Ethereum on Friday. If I'm looking to add it to my position when it's below 0.5 risk, I think Friday makes the most sense. And you can see Sunday, based on these two charts, is really not a good day. Thursday, based on this one, is not good either. And you can see that a lot of these are pretty high for a lot. But Friday tends to be one of the ones that comes in the lowest more frequently than not. This table sort of combines a lot of this stuff for Bitcoin and Ethereum. So Bitcoin, based on all data, the best day to buy is Monday. Based on risk less than 0.5, it actually is Friday. Okay? Saturday. So Monday and then Saturday if it's below 0.5 risk. For Ethereum, it's still Friday, and we said here that it looks like on this one it actually ends up being Wednesday as well. So maybe take that into consideration. But I think considering that Wednesday is popping up pretty high on these other ones, I still think Friday remains the best. So I'd still say Friday is arguably the best day to buy Ethereum. Link, but also basically this does show the data size, right? This shows the data size. You can see that Link is only 1,493 data points. Best day is Friday. ADA, best day Friday. DOT is Tuesday. Avalanche Tuesday. Monero and XLM are Friday. VeChain's Thursday. Litecoin Maker are Friday. Uni's Wednesday. Comp is Friday. Celsius is Tuesday or Friday. They're more or less tied. XRP and Algo are Wednesday. BNB is Thursday. Atom is Wednesday. XTZ is Thursday. Solana is Friday. Matic is Sunday. Aave is Friday. And Luna is Sunday. Based on this, and you can then, I'm not going to read them off again, but you can see the same thing based on a different moving average, right? This is the 100-day moving average, which is one we didn't show on the chart. But look, if you want to figure out what to buy or when to buy it, this at least provides some insight. I would argue that if you have the money and you see the market trending higher and whatnot, you don't have to wait for the technical best day to buy. This is more so if you're coming up with a plan to DCA a crypto perpetually and you just want to buy it every single week on a certain day, this hopefully at least provides some guidance. Note that the lower the sample size, probably the less useful this is. But you can in fact see that a lot of them are, the best day to buy them are in fact Friday, which would mean what? Thursday Eastern at 8 p.m. Thursday Eastern would actually be the best day for a lot of these altcoins. But remember, Friday is based on UTC time. A lot of people forget that and they just think, oh, it's when you wake up. Remember, crypto is not something that's just the United States. So we're operating on UTC time here, okay? So hopefully that is somewhat informative. And now we're going to go jump into the charts. Bitcoin is now trading for about 60.5K. We know we have an update to the bull market support band. It's now ranging from around 46.8K up to 50K, 50.1K, depending on the exchange you use. The bull market support band is trending higher. So in the event of a correction, we would like to hold it as support. And look, I know everyone right now is super bullish. It's pretty clear as day that everyone in the market is really just excited about Bitcoin, and we just put in the highest monthly close ever. So why shouldn't they be, right? Why shouldn't they be? And there's a decent chance we move higher. But the point is it doesn't really matter what happens. We're still pretty much doing what we more or less would have expected, right? We're generally trending higher with time, right? We're generally trending higher with time, and as the weeks pass, the risk levels are slowly adjusting, right? If we look at the risk levels here, Bitcoin risk now is 0.52. If Bitcoin goes back below 0.5 risk, then I'll start DCAing it again, okay? And for it to do that, it would need to go below about 57K, right? If it's below 57K, then I'll start DCAing Bitcoin again. Until then, I'm mostly focused on Ethereum accumulation and altcoin accumulation. If you're new here and you're wondering why is Ben not accumulating Bitcoin when Bitcoin, he always says Bitcoin should be the highest percentage. It is the highest percentage. I spent the last 5 or 6 months mainly accumulating Bitcoin. And because I also recognize the upside in other assets within cryptocurrency, I want to make sure I'm increasing my allocations there as well. So as long as Bitcoin stays above 0.5 risk, I think it makes the most sense for me to focus 70% of my weekly buys on Ethereum. I'm also picking up some altcoins here and there. I've mentioned many of those to you guys before. Obviously, there's ADA, there's DOT, there's Avalanche, there's Algorand. I've mentioned that one a few times. Matic, I think, is another good project. I know a lot of you guys love some of these other ones down here. Luna. Look, a lot of the layer ones are probably going to do well, right? Solana. A lot of them are. Tezos. Tezos has probably had among the worst returns, so I'm not super bullish on that one. Atom is currently trading at $36. BNB is at 515. Honestly, BNB is one that I really should probably consider getting. I mean, the risk is only 0.34, so I might actually add to that one for the first time in the not so distant future. So maybe keep an eye out on Atom. I mean, it currently is at 0.34 risk, so relatively low considering a lot of the other layer 1 risk levels are much higher. In fact, it's even lower than ADA's risk level, which is at 0.365. Link is at 0.415. All right. Bitcoin is now approximately 34% above the 20-week moving average. So we know that as long as it's there, we could still see altcoins rally. And like this last week, what has been rallying, obviously, the gaming cryptos. Obviously, Facebook has, the whole name change to Meta. And I think that, a lot of people ask me my opinion on this stuff and the idea of the metaverse and sort of like virtual reality type stuff and where are we headed. I think it's a growing asset class. I think it's going to trend higher with time. And that's my opinion. I think that the world is becoming more and more digitalized. And I said this, we talked briefly about this, I think on here maybe 6 months ago or so when we briefly looked at some of the gaming crypto stuff. But I do think they are likely to trend higher. And does that mean they're going to trend higher next week? I have no idea. I'm talking about in terms of general investment strategy for the next 5 to 10 years. And we're not just talking about cryptocurrencies. I'm talking about stocks as well. I do think that space is going to grow significantly. And especially with whatever Facebook's going to end up doing, that might be an area to look into as well. So I would say that the metaverse and this virtual reality digital landscape, it's only going to grow. Okay, it's only going to grow. And I mean, obviously, already a lot of us are already spending a lot of times on our phones and whatnot. We're spending most of our time in computer screens. I know a lot of people don't really like that. That's the way that the world is trending. But look, that's the way it's trending. And whether you like it or not, it's probably going to keep heading in that direction. So I would say, well, now that we, if we think it's going to establish or if we think it's going to head in that direction, then how can you be investing accordingly? And look, there's a lot of gaming cryptos. We've talked about some of them before, and a lot of them have pumped this week. Okay, a lot of them have pumped this week. And I actually pulled them up here. You can see that, I mean, this one is up about 7% on the week, which actually isn't as much. The market cap's only about 8 billion. What I think is interesting is the market capitalization of the entire gaming space is still relatively low. I mean, you have Decentraland, which is just below 5 billion. This one is 2 billion. The Sandbox is like 1.5 billion. You can see that a lot of them are still highly speculative. And I'm guessing that the metaverse is going to go through a lot of bubbles. Again, this does not just apply to crypto. It's going to apply to a lot of stocks and whatnot as well that's trying to get exposure in that space or trying to build in that space. My guess is going to be a lot of bubbles in this space as it develops over the years. Because what's going to happen is people are going to speculate really hard on it, but then it's going to become very obvious that we're really not as far ahead as we should be in terms of where people are valuing that technology at the current time. It's going to take years and years for that technology to be developed to where, you know, you're going to see a lot of people just sort of living in that space. Today, a lot of people show off their wealth with fancy cars and fancy houses and whatnot, maybe a nice sports team or a cardboard desk, right? Whatever it is. And in the future, I'm guessing, you know, a lot of the ways that people are going to show off their wealth or flaunt their wealth is digitally, because that's where people are going to be spending most of their time. This could be through NFTs, it could be through a number of different things, and I think we're only scratching the surface of it today. So, you know, I think it's highly likely in the future that there will be these sort of platforms where people are in this virtual reality and you know, you can sell advertising space in the metaverse and stuff, and you'll see these major companies selling advertising space and whatnot, and they'll probably do quite well, right? That's probably going to be a valid avenue of revenue for them, would be to sell that sort of stuff. So, look, you know, one of the things that I try to do on the channel is we talk about a few projects, and I try to expand where I think it makes sense. But I also know from experience that if I were to just dive into every single project every single week, then it makes I think it would make the investment strategy hard, because if I'm just promoting a new coin to everyone every couple of days, I know a lot of you guys would actually like that. You probably would eat it up. But then I know a lot of other people are like, what is he doing? You know, this is supposed to be focused on the large market cap cryptocurrencies. Those are the ones that control the market. And a lot of people here are just more interested in that than going down the rabbit hole of a lot of the smaller market cap cryptocurrencies. But I also understand that people would like me to talk about these other cryptocurrencies more. So I'm trying to figure out, you know, what's a good balance. Maybe if you guys have an idea, leave a comment down below. You know, one of the things I've spoken about before as well is in 2022, we're going to try to do 3 premium videos per week. So 2020 was 1 premium video per week. 2021 was 2 videos. 2022 is going to be 3 videos per week for the premium list. And so what I'm thinking about doing with that 3rd video, so as to not be super repetitive, right? I mean, I'm not just going to do another video each week where I just say, all right, this is the risk level. That's not going to really help you guys. But maybe the 3rd video each week in 2022 will be where I dive into a different project and just give you my thoughts on it, give you like what I'm thinking about it. You know, does it seem valid? Is there utility there? That's sort of what I'm thinking. I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts on that. Do you think that'd be a valid way to have, say, like a 3rd video per week? Maybe it would come out every, maybe we would change the weekly Wednesday video to Tuesday or something, and then we would have another video on Thursday. So then we'd have a video every Thursday, Sunday, and Tuesday. So Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. That's more or less what I'm thinking, but I'm also I'm open to hear people's views on it. And that way, if I go that route where I talk about, say, a new project every single week, and we just sort of dive into it, that way, you know, I'm not taking away anything from the people that don't want to listen to that stuff, because they just don't tune in that week. But then the people that do want to listen to that stuff, they can tune into that video. But let me know what you guys think about that. I do think this space is going to grow. I mean, the total market cap on this space is not very high, right? It's really not that. It's not very high. You can see, I guess it's about 25 billion for the entire space. I mean, if you go look at say, I mean, let's just go down to 25 billion. You know, I mean, Dogecoin has a market cap higher than the entire space. Shiba has an entire, I mean, these all, Polkadot, XRP, Solana, I mean, they all have market caps higher than the entire space of these gaming tokens. So, you know, if I'm just going to give you my brief opinion on it, look, I do think these will generally trend higher with time. I think the major risk on them is which ones are going to win out in the end. Okay, and I do think these sort of these virtual reality or digital landscapes and whatnot, they're probably going to continue to grow. But I think it's also going to be hard to figure out like which ones are ultimately going to succeed in the end. Okay, there's going to be some that are speculative for a little while, but at the end of the day, you have to imagine that some of the ones that say the juggernauts of the industry, like Facebook, are going to be focusing on. Those are probably going to have a leg up. I know a lot of people don't like Facebook, but look, you can't deny that they have a lot of money they can throw at these things, and it certainly is possible that whatever they get behind will do quite well. So that's what I'm sort of looking at now. I do have a position in Facebook for full disclosure. But we'll dive more into this later as well. But just to give you my general feedback on this space, I do think it will likely trend higher with time. Obviously, some of them are up a lot this week. This one's up 8%. I mean, this one's up 246%. So I'm certainly not saying you should go chase the pump. But over the long term, do I expect the market cap of Decentraland to go higher than 5 billion? Yeah, I think it probably will. Do I think this one will go higher than 2? Yeah, I think it probably will. Do I think Sandbox? I mean, they probably will trend higher with time. But note, it is highly speculative, and a lot of these, if I had to guess, in 5 years, a lot of these you won't even recognize anymore. Like they'll just be completely dead projects. Okay, they'll be completely dead projects. And then, so one way to think about it is, if you wanna speculate in some of these other sub asset classes of crypto, you could do so, but maybe there's just like a small percentage of your portfolio. There's also the meme coins, and I don't really know what to say about these because it's sort of this thing where most serious investors just sort of, and this is me too, right? We just sort of like, I mean, it's a meme, right? It's a meme. Doge, sort of a meme coin. Doesn't change the fact that if you had an investment in Doge, you would have seen a really nice return, right? I mean, money is money. Am I right? So the meme coins are certainly one of those things where they can have really nice gains, but they can also bleed significantly when the market turns. Like take Doge for example. If we sort of zoom out here, look at this move that it had, and then you can see if you were the schmuck who sort of who FOMO'd in at the top here at 70 cents, you're still more than 50% down, right? So that's sort of the risk you take. Is that a lot of the coins we've seen have recovered, right? Bitcoin is back, it's back above 60K. Ethereum is above 4K. Doge is still more than 50% down. So yeah, they can give you fairly nice gains when they're moving. They can also bleed significantly. So I would say if you're going to allocate to this asset class or the sub-asset class of meme coins, I would do it with incredibly small percentages of your portfolio. And then if they do go up, maybe then just take your profits out to Bitcoin or out to Ethereum. And I certainly wouldn't ride them back down. I mean, you could just dynamically DCA on the way up. But I just wanted to talk about these things. And I think one of the things I want to talk about more in 2022 are these sub-asset classes of crypto, right? And I mean, I think this will be great too for a future bear market as well, whenever we get to the bear market. Because that's when, in the bear market is when we're going to want to really focus on, okay, let's figure out what projects should trend up with time for the next market cycle, accumulate those, and then ride those up for the next cycle, right? That's the idea. Obviously, you guys know my opinions on this cycle. A lot of them have done fairly well, and I think they will continue to do well. And note Bitcoin right now is at 60.5K. I know everyone's really bullish. We've done an update on our bull market support band and the 8-week SMA. Those are our lines in the sand to hold as support in the event of a pullback. And if not, hopefully we can keep trending higher. Ethereum, look, it's at the prior resistance level up here. I still think Ethereum looks relatively bullish. Could we come back down first before going up? Yeah, it's certainly possible. I don't think it matters. I think it's just sort of mindless DCA for a while. Same thing goes with a lot of these projects. I mean, DOT is sort of at the same area that it was at before. So if we do get rejected here again, I know a lot of people are going to feel somewhat embarrassed at that point and start calling for a double top if that were to happen on a lot of these different cryptocurrencies. Like imagine this ends up being sort of like on Ethereum, this looks like a double top if we come back down. I know a lot of people are going to say that, call it a double top, but I would still argue that it's still likely to continue higher later on. Remember, the market cycle should still extend out for a while, and I do think time is still on our side. I do think the entire asset class is trending to approximately a $10 trillion market capitalization this market cycle, but I also do not think this market cycle ends in 2021. Okay, so let me be clear about that. I think we'll go ahead and wrap it up there. If you guys like the content, let me know. Maybe provide some feedback in the comments, like what you like, what you don't like, what do you think about 2022 and the trajectory there. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.